There's going to be a total of 100 colorful screws, as you can see in the top right corner, that you can find throughout the entire world. And once you do, you could come in here and buy all of these different Canari plushes that go up to level 3, and you're going to be able to have yourself all of the rewards. Now, you only need 80 in order to reach all of the different Canari plush rewards. And then the last 20 are going to give you a special reward. And if you don't want to watch the video and you just want to know what the reward is, then just fast forward to the end. But you know, what kind of monster would do that? Okay, as soon as you unlock Rotoglide, you can start going for these. I mean, you know, before you unlock Rotoglide, you could start going for these, but I am waiting until I have Rotoglide because that just makes my life so much absolutely easier. And I'm going to be going in slivers. So let's go ahead and start at the very top of the map at 12 o'clock and then work our way clockwise. The first one is to the far left, right over here. The next is at the very end where you got Froakie. These ones over here in Rouge Sector 8, there's going to be 3 of them. As soon as you start going up the scaffolding over here on the left-hand side. Over here, you could also use Rotoglide to reach this one a little bit lower. The third one for this sector requires us to make our way up, and I'm just going to go ahead, roll forward, and do a very nicely timed Rotoglide right now. From this rooftop segment is pretty much the only way that you can go ahead and make your way on top of that shopping district over there. So go ahead, roll off of the roof and Rotoglide over. And on top of this roof is going to be the colorful screw that we need. The last one for Rouge Sector 8 is going to be right on the avenue. Next, we're going to be getting the ones on top of the academy. If you go from this holovator here in the Rouge Sector 6, and then you break open this spider web off to the side. From here, we can roll forward and then Rotoglide through the air on top of this roof. Pretty easy landing. And next, if you walk on top of this railing and then make your way to the end of the academy, you can hop down there and get that colorful screw. And then the last one for this sliver of the map is going to be located right here in the Rouge sector, pretty much next to Restaurant Les Wow. After you make your way to the top, roll on off and get yourself the last colorful screw of this sliver. Heading clockwise, next we're going to make our way over here to the Jaune district. First one is right next to the Pokemon Center on the North Boulevard, located right on top of a simple scaffolding maze. Our next one is right next to us, which was another one of the Froakie mazes. From here, our third one is just going to be just a little bit north of this, right on top of this roof over here, located right here on the map. Our next is going to be right here on Jaune Sector 4, right on the street level. You're going to be able to find the scaffolding maze right here. Next up, you're going to be taking this holovator here at Jaune Sector 4 and making your way across the roof all the way over here to this little pit. And down here in this pit is going to be some abras and a colorful screw. You can go ahead and go up the staircase over here, continue on down the roofs. We just need to go ahead and continue on south down all of the roofs. And eventually we're going to make our way all the way to the end, right over here, located right here on the map. There is one inside of this area that you do need to actually activate this holovator in order to hop on down here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try from making my way from that roof to over there. Oh, we made it. Okay. And inside of the scaffolding here in the corner is where you're going to be able to find your colorful screw. Right here. For our next one, here in Jaune Sector 3, we're going to make our way up the scaffolding to this rooftop over here. And on this scaffolding is a colorful screw. On the rooftop that scaffolding brings you is also a colorful screw, right on the ledge. Our very last one is going to be located on this rooftop, so I'm just going to hop across this ledge. And right here in the corner, here it is on the map, is our colorful screw. Our next slice in the map, we're going to be right here in the Jaune district, and this is going to be the easiest scaffolding for you to go ahead and get up. Once you make your way to the top of the scaffolding, you just fall off right here and pick up this colorful screw. From here, you need to make your way on top of this rooftop right here, and then you can overlook to that scaffolding, which has our colorful screw that we need. Next, we're going to make our way from the Holovator here on Jaune Street up to the rooftop. We're going to simply roll off of the building and roto-glide over. And at the rooftop location right here on the map is going to be our colorful screw. Right from where we are right now, if you go ahead, run off of this and then roto-glide up, you can actually make your way on top of this small piece of roof for this colorful screw. Now from here, in order to get that one on top of that large cathedral palace looking building, we need to make our way north just a little bit. And from this corner, you can go ahead and roto-glide off onto the balcony. Next, here in Jaune Sector 6, right next to Wild Zone 8, is where we're going to head on over to get to this scaffolding. And at the top is going to be our screw. You just need to hop down just a little bit in order to get right down here. Our next colorful screw, we're going to be going up this staircase right here in Jaune Sector 6. And we're going to make our way south over these rooftops. Once you get to the end, you're just going to roto-glide on over to this roof over here. On the map, we're going to be located right here, just outside of Wild Zone 11, for this colorful screw. Next, we're going to make our way on top of this building over here, which if you are a little bit later in the game, you can use this Holovator. But if you don't have that, then you could use one of my favorite tricks, which is just roto-gliding to higher altitude. We're just going to head north up this staircase on top of the roofs, and right here is going to be the colorful screw that we're going after. It's going to be located right here on the map. Now, from our exact location, we can actually make it over to that roof right there and save us a little bit of time. And once we do, we're just going to go ahead and hop down inside of here. And once we do, that's going to be another colorful screw right here on the map. For our fourth slice of our pie, which is a pie sliced into 10 slices. Ooh, that's an Alpha Dratini, and I would like it, please. But yeah, besides that is going to be our colorful screw right here on top of Restaurant Les Na. Our next colorful screw is going to be on some scaffolding right here on the road, right here on the map on South Boulevard. Can we? Yep, we can just hop on top. Cool. Heading down the road, we're going to come to the actual Racine construction place, and we're going to head inside of the building. And there's going to be a colorful screw inside of here. Next, which you probably got this one while you were walking down the road on the way to Racine Construction, is going to be this colorful screw right here, located right here on the map. Next, if we head up this Holovator that you should be able to activate with our current side quests that we're given by the time you get the roto-glide ability, we make our way across this grass bridge, and then we make our way to the end of the rooftop, and over here is going to be our colorful screw, located right here on the map. Our next one is actually visible from where we are, and it's going to be up that scaffolding right there. This one, we're just going to hop off of the roof, nice and gently, located right here on the map. Our next one is going to involve some scaffolding here at the Culotte Waterway. For our next one, we're going to be taking this Holovator up here in Vert Sector, I think it's still part of Vert Sector 3. We're going to make our way up the scaffolding here on the left-hand side. Then we're going to hop down the right-hand side over to this colorful screw here, located right here on the map. From where we just were, on top of the rooftop, going up the scaffolding, we're going to go ahead and roll off of the roof over to where the Talonflame likes to hang out. This is going to bring us to a nice little bit of roof segment here at Vert Sector 3, and you can just go ahead and roll right on top of this little, I'm just going to call it a shed. You could also just roto-glide from that part to this part. From here, our next one is going to be visible up that scaffolding just across the grassy knoll. It's located right here on the map. From here, if you look on down toward the middle of this courtyard, you're going to be seeing a colorful screw down here. It's located right here on the map. And climbing up to get out of here, you're going to be seeing some scaffolding just outside of the building, right here in Vert Sector 1. And since we're already on the roof, we might as well use that to our advantage and hop on down and perfectly land on that beam. I'm a little impressed with that. It's located right here on the map. Our very last one for this slice is going to be nice and easy. You probably already have this one since it's right next to the plaza and you walked past it in the tutorial. Located right here on the map. It's time for our 5th slice in the map, and the first one that we're going to do requires us to go up the staircase at Hotel Z, and then around the back there's up a staircase, and then up a staircase, and then we're finally going to make our way up here. If you rotoglide off the left side of this, you can make your way up to the right. And over to our final destination, which is going to be right here on the map. From here, there's actually some descending scaffolding that we can make our way onto. Right down here. Which is right here on the map. Next, we make our way to this grassy knoll here in Vert Sector 9 behind Hotel Z, where we're going to be finding a little bit of scaffolding and this colorful screw. Next, we're going to make our way on top of this roof segment right here next to Hotel Z. You can just take the Hotel Z rooftops over here. We rotoglide across. We rotoglide across once again. And that's going to bring us to this colorful screw right here on the map. Since we're already on top of the rooftop, we're going to head just to the north a little bit, where we're going to be coming to this large compound. I'm just going to call it a compound. And inside of here, Vert Sector 4, there's actually going to be 3 colorful screws for us. One at the very top, one near the top, and one in the very middle. And if you fall, there is a holovator inside of the middle that'll help you back up. So I'm going to start with this one here on the roof, located right here. Next, I'm actually going to be rolling over to this item. And then from this item, I'm going to be rolling off and then gliding up to this colorful screw right here. Then off to the right, up here. And lastly, to the very middle. Next, from our location, we can actually hop over to the roofs on Vert Sector 5. And making our way to this position right here, we can actually roll off to land on this scaffolding. From here, I'm just going to rotoglide away. And that gives me a nice vantage point to rotoglide toward it. And for our very last one is going to be located right here on the map. This is where the Larvitar spawns in my rare Pokemon video. And right here is going to be the staircase you need to make your way on up. And at the end is going to be our colorful screw right here. Right here on the map. And we are done with half of the map. We've already done 5 of the 10 slices. So nice. Our very first one that we're going to be getting is going to be right here on the main avenue, Vernal Avenue. And right here on the map next to the research lab is going to be this simple scaffolding. Right next to that, located right on the main street, is going to be right here on South Boulevard, which has a simple scaffolding with 2 colorful screws on it. Up top for 1, and down here for 2. Right here on the map. Next up, we have this large construction site located right here in Blue Sector 7 with this colorful screw, located right here on the map. And going ahead and climbing to the top of the scaffolding. If you look down to the bottom right, there's a fence there, and that's actually water, and you can't hover above water. So we're gonna hop off of the roof and aim for just to the right of that colorful screw. Perfect. Located right here on the map. So now if we look out to the east side, there's gonna be a very large gap that I know you can clear it. You can do it. Because we have this broken holovator over here. I mean, if you're later in the game, you could just use that holovator. That's located right here on the map, by the way. And if we just make our way all the way to the east, we can find this colorful screw located right here on the map. Next, for the easier path, we're gonna make our way back up the scaffolding here at Blue Sector 7. We're gonna make our way over and here to Blue Sector 5. But over here is the actual reason that we're here, and this colorful screw right here. Now, we actually have 2 right next to us that we can go ahead and get pretty easily. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can just rotoglide to this one. Yep. That's number 9, located right here on the map. Next, we're going to be coming over here to Blue Sector 3. We can't use this holovator yet because we haven't helped the Rust Syndicate, but right here is where we need to make our way on up for this colorful screw right here. Here's where it is on the map. So from that little bit of roof, you can actually make your way on up here to this little bit of grassy area. And over here is actually a little bit of ice that brings us back to where we first started, but we're actually going to be making our way over here. This is our final destination right here, by the way, for this colorful screw right here on the map. And our very last one for this slice is going to be located right here between Blue Sector 1 and Blue Sector 3 on this simple bit of scaffolding. Located right here on the map. Next is going to be one of the simplest little slices for us, just because of how much of this area ends up becoming wild areas. And we're going to make our way to Café Soleil. And right across from Café Soleil is going to be this bit of scaffolding with one colorful screw up top. Located right here on the map. Next, we're going to go just a little bit up Southern Avenue from Shatterbug Cafe. And here we're going to find this itty bitty tiny little bit of scaffolding for this colorful screw right here on the map. Here between Blue Sector 6 and 9, we're going to be finding this bit of scaffolding right here that actually has two colorful screws on it. Number 1 is right down there, and number 2 is right up here. From this scaffolding, we're going to go ahead and make our way all the way to the roof. And we're going to make our way all the way toward the tower. So we're actually going to be going all the way over here. Up here, once we get to the roof, we can clearly see off in the distance exactly where we need to go. Right here. Right here on the map. Our very last screw is not very far away, so we're actually going to need to backtrack all the way to that scaffolding and then back on top of the roofs and then make our way over here to where the Halucha hangs out. And we can find our last colorful screw right here on the map. Okay, for our next piece of the pie, we are going to be doing this Magenta sector. And first things first, right here on Southern Boulevard is going to be some pretty simple scaffolding with a... Nice. And that's located exactly here on the map. Next up, we're going to be making our way to this small side street off of the Southern Boulevard, and we're going to be finding this scaffolding right here with 2 screws. Gonna get the one at the top. Just gonna hop off and then roto-glide back up. Nice. Those are both located exactly here on the map. Next up, we're going to be making our way inside of Magenta Sector 6, where we're going to be looking at some scaffolding with 2 more screws for us. Do I just glide? Do I just roll in there? Yeah, okay, cool. And there we go. Both of them are located right there on the map. From here, I'm going to be making my way south across these rooftops to pretty much right about here, where we can go ahead and find this colorful screw, pretty easy to get. Located right here on the map. Next up is what I think might be the only colorful screw inside of a wild zone, located right about there on a map. So let's go ahead to Wild Zone 9. We're going to be making our way up the scaffolding right here, which is going to give us nice, simple, non-combative access to this colorful screw right on the scaffolding right here. Here's the exact location on the map. Our next one is a very simple little bit of scaffolding located right on the street level, right outside of Cafe Gallant. Actually, it took me longer to explain it than I did to go get it. It's right here on the map in Magenta Sector 1. I just heard a shiny sound. I don't know what it was. Is it something in here? Those flowers look right. Is it something on this roof? I think it came from inside the wild area. Oh! Yeah! Look, it's a Kakuna! Okay, we take those. Cool. Thanks, game. I do like the shiny system in this game. I missed it. Okay, our last one of this slice is actually going to be located right here in Magenta Sector probably 3. So we need to go ahead and take this Holovator here right on Estival Avenue. I have a quest right here. Can I ignore the quest for right now and just continue on? Yeah, I can. Cool. So yeah, actually it was a pretty smooth walk over here, and then we just need to hop on down, and it's hanging out in this courtyard. Here's the exact location on the map. Okay, last 2 slices, let's go. If you're following along, you only need like a couple of these. You don't need all 100 for all of the various rewards, only if you want to get the special completionist reward for getting all of them. So if you want to do that, go for it, but Our first screw, we're just gonna take a big old shortcut. We're gonna go up this elevator over here, and then from this side of the roof, we're just gonna go ahead and drop down right here onto this pallet, and that's our first colorful screw located right here on the map. Next, from Cafe Triste on the North Boulevard, there's going to be some scaffolding, and on the scaffolding is going to be 2 colorful screws for us. This little isolated bit, and then you have to roto-glide over to the other bits. Can we just... Oh, yeah. Great shortcut. And then we could probably just roto-glide right over there. Great. Okay, for our next colorful screws, we need to go up the whole butt ton of scaffolding that's right next to this wild area once it pops up here in Magenta Sector 9. So you're just going to come to this location, climb up a whole lot, and boom, colorful screw. And then from here, it's actually not going to be too far. We're just going to continue up south just a tiny little bit on top of these buildings, back over where this Eevee spawns. And just hop down this roof and boom, colorful screw. For our next colorful screw, we are going to go back up this elevator here on Magenta Street, over to this rooftop, over to Magenta Sector 7. We're gonna roll off and do a roto glide on over. Nice and easy. And boom, colorful screw, located exactly here. Our last colorful screw of this slice is here in Magenta Sector 2. Yeah, it's right here. And here's some simple scaffolding to make your way on up. Located right here on the map. Our first one is going to be here on Autumnal Avenue, and it's going to be right here in what I think is technically Rouge Sector 1, right next to the Rouge Plaza. And over here, we're going to be finding ourselves some pretty simple scaffolding, right here on the map. Oh, actually, that one we get from a roof drop down, so let's head up to the roof. I just heard another shiny sound. I don't know where it was. Badoo? Yeah. Nice. That might have been from the door, from doing the door stuff in Area 3. 2 random shinies in this video. Just from walking around the entire map. But yeah, make your way up to the top of the roof, and then you're going to be heading up and counterclockwise to this location right here. Here it is on the map for this screw. And from here is where we can go ahead and drop down for this screw on the scaffolding. Nice. Next, we're going to be heading to Rouge Sector 1 inside of this little nugget right here. Right by Wild Zone 3. And here's going to be a whole bunch of scaffolding for us. There's going to be 1 screw all the way up there, and there's 1 screw right here in the middle. First, you actually get the higher up one, which is located right there on the map. And then we can go ahead and strategically drop down to the middle for this one. Nice. Next, we're going to be taking the Holovator next to the Looker Bureau in Rouge Sector 5. And once you're up here, you're just going to look to the left. We could roll off of the roof and roto glide right on over to this colorful screw right here. What was that? I just heard it. I just heard it. Is it in here? Is it something on a tree? Alleyway? I have no idea what that sound was. A bird? On a lamppost? I have no idea. Okay. Anyways, we're just gonna head on over here to this Holovator before I was so rudely interrupted by that shiny sound. Oh. Oh, hi Scatterbug. Cool, we take those. I guess because I came up here at nighttime before. We are actually going to take this up here, and we're going to once again make our way back to this corner where we hopped off previously for the scaffolding. Except now we have to go ahead and destroy the webbing. Dragonair, go ahead and rush that. Thank you. And we're going to make our way across the moss to this location right here, right above Restaurant Leia, for this colorful screw. Now the rooftop just to the north of us has our next screw, right where that Pidgeotto is. Let's go to that bit of roof just because it has that ledge to make our life a little bit easier. Yeah, we can make this, especially if we believe in ourselves. Oh, yeah, we had that in the bag. Just climb up this little bit of roof over here. Move. Thank you. And that was right there, Rouge Sector 3. Now just on top of the mall over here, the ombrage. Oh, beautiful. And right in the middle of the ombrage is going to be this colorful screw located right here. Our next colorful screw is going to be right here by Rouge Sector 5, between 5 and 7. Right where I'm standing, and you're going to be finding this simple bit of scaffolding. There's a high likelihood you already have this one already. And from here, we're going to head just a little bit directly west to right here, where we could find a small bit of scaffolding for this colorful screw located right here on the map. Next here in Rouge Sector 7, this is the staircase that we need for, I believe, 2 screws. One is right here at the edge of this large circular thing. Once we go ahead and make our way to the roof, we can actually just roll across this. Watch out for the lip with the roto glide, so definitely come at it from an angle. And right here is our colorful screw, located right here on the map. Next up here on this rooftop from Rouge Sector 7, you're going to see these wooden crates specifically designed for you to be able to roto-glide across to this rooftop. And right here is going to be our colorful screw at this location. And right here on the map on North Boulevard is going to be these 2 screws on this scaffolding. If you waited to do all of these with me, these are your very last 2. And it's pretty exciting. Especially if you are like me and you waited all this time to actually get here and you've been playing in hard mode. Oh, big pearl, nice. And now the game is about to get a lot easier as far as catching things, as far as farming up mega shards. Beautiful. And if we look inside of our satchel, other items at the bottom, all 100 colorful screws. We did it, gamers. And now it's finally time to just go ahead and redeem all of these. Hey, now we own every single plush. Yep, here's some fresh exciting info for a plush head like yourself. If you bring me every last colorful screw still out there, I'll reward you with a giant plush. Jumpin' Jolteon, you went and brought me every last colorful screw there was to find. That's deserving of a giant Canari Plush for sure. I'll go ahead and have it delivered to your room. The giant Canari Plush was sent to your room in Hotel Z. You got all the Canari Plush, so I don't think there's anything else I can help you with. Bye forever. And there it is. Giant plush in our room. You may be asking what this does. The answer is absolutely nothing. The giant Canari Plush does absolutely nothing for you. It does not give you any bonuses. It does not increase your shiny rate. It does absolutely nothing. It is this game's version of Hestu's gift. So you have all your Korok seeds for your inventory space. And then if you collect the last ones, it does nothing except you get this. It's a fun little thing. That way they're like, they give you some leniency. You don't need to follow a crazy guy like this to get all of them. If you do, this is what you're rewarded with. Well, great. Guys, I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out. Really wish there was like animated poses. Yeah, we'll do this one. We'll do the Legend of Zelda hand forward pose. All right, bye.